All right, welcome to our leg video to wrap up the arteries of the leg. As I was going over the list, I realized I didn't mention back on this picture the lumbar artery right here. So it's coming off of kind of probably the lowest. Here's your inferior mesenteric. So it's right, just kind of right below that off to the lateral side. Here's your lumbar artery here, just before the aorta splits into your common iliac. Okay, so now we can get back to taking a look at the rest of the blood vessels associated with the leg. So here we have, I'm going to kind of go anatomically, I think, on this one, just because the blood, as it's going through the blood vessels, will split as it's making its way to the foot, as opposed to anatomically. So hopefully I don't miss anything. So here's our common, I'm going to start with the anterior picture first. And go back and forth as I need to. So our common iliac starts here. Remember, that was a split of your aorta, splits into your common iliac. And then it splits into your external and internal. So the internal iliac is really small compared to your external iliac. External is definitely the bigger one. It's carrying more volume of blood. So the internal iliac is a small little one. External iliac is this big one. Okay, and it continues down until we have the femoral. Okay, so we have some branches coming off of that. That's not on our list, so we don't have to worry about that. So here's our femoral. Okay, and then the femoral splits, kind of branches right above the back of the knee. So this is where I'm going to swap over here. Okay, so here's your femoral coming down. Okay. And then it branches. We can see this branch to the descending genicular, which is not on your list. But right around here, right behind the knee, this is when we divide into the popliteal. So we can kind of see it shadowed behind the kneecap right here. So you can primarily see it on that posterior view of the knee. Okay. And then the popliteal splits into your posterior tibial and your anterior tibial. So the posterior tibial stays posterior, as its name implies. We can see that here. The anterior tibial branches and goes through that space between the tibia and fibula and then comes out and runs along the anterior side, like your anterior crest region of your tibia. So that's your anterior and posterior tibial arteries that branch from the popliteal artery. Okay. And then we come down here, straight down, we have what's called the Dorsalis Pedis, which is the artery on the superior surface of the foot. Okay. And I think that's all the blood vessels from the leg. So I'm checking my list. Oh, fibular. Fibular is right here. So kind of a branch off of that posterior tibial comes down and runs alongside the fibula, which kind of makes sense because that's your fibular artery. All right, I think we got it. Okay, so that wraps up all of the blood vessels on the artery side. So now we're going to go through the same thing and identify the veins. And what's nice about that is a lot of the names are the same when they are found associated in that same body region. So knowing your brachial artery and knowing your brachial vein, you really know that because you know your brachial region of your body. All right, we'll see you next time for veins.